What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review. Coming at you really super late this week, and I apologize, everybody. I had a hell of a sick week this past week. The beginning of the week was horrible. The middle of the week was worse. And then as we come now to where we're at the end of the week, starting next week, I'm starting to feel better, and thank God. I mean, it was one hell of a week. Trust me. And believe me, we missed being on the live shows this week. I missed being on all the live shows I'm on this week. It was just one of those weeks for me, and it happens. I notice it happens every year when summer turns to fall. The cold weather coming in always messes me up. When the cold weather turns to warm, no. Hot to cold, for some reason, I always end up getting sick.
They don't mix.
I guess they don't for me. But anyway, we missed being on the live shows, and everything should be back on track next week. We're actually we're going to be reading this past Wednesday's books as fast as we can to get this review back on track. But before we get into this week's review, we didn't have that many books, by the way, anyway. We'll talk about that when we get to the beginning of the review show. As always, this is in video format this week. And Mike and I discussed this after last week's show. And for multiple reasons, which I'm going to explain to all of you, we think it's best to bring the reviews back to a video format. And I'm going to explain why. Normally, if it's a live show, we have a pre-show anyway. I like these beginning segments, so I think we're going to end up keeping these beginning segments and timing them to about like 3, 4, 5 minutes, because I have a timer that tells me that we're already 2 minutes in. This one might be a little bit longer than 5 for explanation purposes. Now, for many reasons, we decided that bringing this show back to a video format, at least until we hit like 500, maybe we'll do 500 as a video and then do a post 500, but we're not going to talk about 500. 500 is literally a year away.
In the summer of 2016.
Right. 16?
2019, I'm sorry.
19.
I have
you
my
got your 9 upside down.
I'm
upside
sorry.
down.
I'm thinking of the other...
So we are going to be hitting 500 in the summer of 2019. Like Mike said, that's a long ways away. So the reason we decided to bring this back to a video format is multiple reasons. First reason being, I like the quality of the video better recording it than the way the live show leaves it. When we leave the live show, the video looks a little, even though it says HD, it's a little grainy for me. The microphone sounds okay, but I like when we use the recording program, the microphone comes in perfect. The video comes in crisp, clear. I could change it to 1080p if I want. This is not being recorded in 1080p. I just realized I'm looking at the recording. It's at 720. I'll probably switch it back to 1080p starting next week. But for video purposes, that's one. Number two, time-wise, last week we got done pretty quickly when it comes to the review. And also, Dark Avenger Live is a major reason also. That's a huge reason why. The reason we were enjoying doing the Dark Avenger comic book review live is because we weren't doing Dark Avenger Live. So it was a nice combination of Dark Avenger Live and the comic review put together. One of the things that would throw Michael off, or sometimes even throw me off, because I would see a comment about either a book that we previously talked about because of the delay, no fault of anybody, because of the delay, we'd have to stop in the middle. You know, we would address, because we always want to talk to all of you. We address the comment, and then we move back to the comics. And then sometimes we'd have comments that have nothing to do with the comics we're talking about. But because we love doing live shows and we love, the interaction, we would stop the review, talk about that for a bit. And this is thinking about the people watching the show post-live more than the people watching the show live. We figure Dark Avenger Live is back. It's coming back in November. We are going to be doing all of the stuff we were doing on the comic review there and discussing everything and anything on the live show. So, A, to have stuff to discuss on Mondays, and B, to condense the reviews a bit, time-wise, this would be a better option. So, since Dark Avenger Live is back, we have a live show on the channel now again. We could bring the review back to a video format. Hopefully you all support the review still. You all watch it. You enjoy it. That's our goal. Our goal with this review is to inform and to entertain, of course. Even though this is a review, we do still want to be entertaining, and we want you guys to enjoy it because we go through a lot of books. We do. Most weeks, I think the most we've ever hit between the two of us is about 25, 26 books. And the least...
No, I think it's been higher than that.
Almost 30?
Like almost 30, I would say.
Okay, almost 30. That's true. So, with all of that, we would like to have you guys enjoy the review as much as not just the book 1, book 2, but, But
this week,
this
past week, we have 17 books digitally, and all these 17 books, except one of them, or was this one of them?
I think it came out this. Let's count it as this week.
Yeah, these are the books we're gonna review that came out on October 10, 2018. I'm hoping I'm saying now the numbers right. And we're gonna start first with.
Yeah, no, but before we get wait, I wasn't done yet.
Oh, I thought you were done.
No, but I'm glad you said that because that's the books we're talking about this week.
Okay, then.
What we're gonna do is, like I said, the review's gonna move back to a video format. Hopefully, you all still support it. You watch it, share it, and everything like that. If you like the live show format, please. Monday nights, we purposely moved this review to Wednesdays so that on Monday night, which is when this review originally happened, we would have a live show where we could all sit down and discuss comics, news, TV, whatever. If you are available at night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday, starting the first Monday of November, Dark Avenger Live will be back on a Monday format.
With my glasses.
Mike will be back with his glasses. It'll be an hour-long show. It'll be from 9:30 to 10:30. We'll be sitting down. We'll be discussing and talking with all of you. Unless, there's no one to really talk with, then, maybe we'll end the show early. Again, the live show is about all of you and us talking with all of you. So we can only do that with all of you there and having a good time and discussing everything and anything. So we hope you all show up on Monday so we can talk live. And we hope you all still enjoy and support this review show. We are nearing our 500, like I said. That is a huge milestone. Now, granted, there are a lot of reviews that have gone beyond 500, and there are a lot of reviews that are going to hit 500. Would I say sooner? Yeah, they'll hit 500 sooner than ours, and they'll be going further than that. But it's a huge milestone for me. And again, I just want to point two other things out. I did make a mention of this on our Discord already, on the Frontline Discord, that this was moving back to a video format. I said I'd explain why. 7 minutes later, here we are. That's the explanation for that. Second one being Dark Avenger Live will return in November once we get through October and Horror Fest, which I've done a few streams. I might do one or two more. I'm going to try my hardest. Mondays are a bit crazy gaming-wise, so we'll see how that goes. But I do have a few more horror streams I am planning. And the third one being, not to forget, middle of November, probably the second week in November, which is basically right in the middle. There will be a Dark Avenger channel update video coming out, and that's going to talk about stuff on the channel, things that I have in the works, and things for the future. Again, I don't want anybody to be worried. Again, I work in multiple places, and I work all over the place. So it has nothing to do with anything that should worry anyone, because you all know that I've been around for 10 years, and I ain't planning to go anywhere anytime soon.
Well, next year will be 10 years.
For this channel, 10 years already for Brooklyn Boys.
Oh yeah, well, didn't we already pass 10 years for Brooklyn
I think
Boys?
so. We're at 11 now.
Yeah,
we've been on YouTube a long time, so I don't think we're going anywhere. However, there are updates and things that will be changing, and I want to be, as the video says, I want to be transparent. I want you all to know what I'm planning, what I'm doing, and where you're going to be seeing things. That's a nice little teaser kind of deal, yeah. I would say. And it also has to do with the reviews and everything else going on the channel and things going on with Frontline. Mostly stuff here, not Frontline as much, because Frontline, you all know. You know the norm for Frontline and us, so... Anyway, before I really start getting into the update video, and we're 8 minutes or 9 minutes exact in, let's get into the review, because I'm sure everybody's fast-forwarding, waiting for this. So we're going to start off. Last week, we had Argo 5, issue number 26, which I loved. I recommend it. I'm actually saving up to get a full physical collection of Argo 5. That's a whole video for another time, whenever I get the money together. But Dan released another Argo book, which is coming soon. Another Argo 5 book, which we will be getting hopefully soon. Another Sorority of Power book, which Mike will be getting hopefully soon. But a book we did get, and a book I'm excited to talk about, is Team North America. This is a one-shot. I love when Dan releases one-shots. Now, I have to be sure. I want to go into the table of context, because I want to get the names right. I know Dan wrote... Yeah, here we go. Dan wrote the backup story in this book, which is called Demon Blue. But The first story in Team North America is written by Alex Dwayne.
Doy?
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 Yeah, I think Doy. Or Doy. Something like that.
I apologize. Dawe. I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. There are two stories in here. One is called Day of the Dead, which I really enjoyed that. We'll talk about that. And the second one, Dan wrote, and that is Demon Blue. Now, Day of the Dead, Team North America is taking a break, and I forget which team member, which you went too fast, recommended Quinzel recommended this because it's Day of the Dead, so they go to Mexico and they're celebrating, and another teammate, Firewater, actually used to celebrate it with her family, and you can see that she's having a bit. This is the first time she celebrated it in years, and as she's telling the team, I used to do this with my family, so it's different, but now, and then there's an interruption, and Lady of the Dead shows up, which is really cool. I love the art in this first story arc. I like the art in the second one, but the first arc, I really do. And she's raising the dead, and she wants the loved ones of the dead, and it becomes this huge, explosive fight where they don't want to destroy the bodies, because these are family members, dead relatives, and they're fighting them, and they finally find a way to stop Lady of the Dead, and she gets arrested, and then we find out that what Firewater was saying before this whole hell broke loose was she has a new family now, and it's Team North America. And I really liked this story. It was a real fun issue, and I like Ultro, especially we got Gladiatra's origin and Ultro's origin basically last week in Argo 5. This week having another Ultro book. This is his team, because he left America and went to Canada because he didn't want to be in the shadow of his father or his sister, and joined this team, Team North America. It's nice. So we had a Gladiator, we have an Ultro. Yeah, you can show that pinup. I actually like that pinup too.
Yeah, this pinup.
There's obviously a pinup at the end. Michael's skimming through it now. I love Ultra. I really do. I hope we get another Team North America book, or maybe an Ultra one-shot. I mean, I know Dan's doing a lot of one-shots. I mean, he did a lot. He did 2 for Law and Order. Now he's got Team North America. He had Havoc Patrol. He had another one. I know there was another solo book, and it's just leaving my mind.
Is it here, Argo Comics, like all these?
No, those are Argo 5. But anyway, Dan did the second arc, which is all about Blue Demon, I believe his name is.
The Wild?
What do you mean, the Wild?
Like he says here, like,
Yeah, it's Blue Demon. He's at, like, this Demons Anonymous.
Yeah.
And he's talking about this instant where he's fighting with his team, and then Ultro kind of takes the winning blow, or the final blow, from this villain, and he feels like he doesn't belong, that he's like this he's not like connecting with the team, that he's not in the right place. And I love how it snaps back to this, and one of the teammates shows up. I forget who. Michael's looking through it. So
what?
No, it's fine. You're fine. And she's like, dude, stop this. You work with our team fine. We have stuff to do. Let's go. You don't belong here. You're just as important to the team as everybody else. Stop it. You're part of you're part of Team North America, and you mean everything to the team. And that's how the book ends. I think Dan did an excellent job with this story as well. I like it. See, when Dan does a one-shot, he gives you multiple stories. He doesn't just give you one gigantic story, which either way would be fine. I'm not knocking it if he does. I mean, Law and Order, which is a one-shot, is only one story as well. But I love this book. This was the book that made me say, I need to get this physically, and I think you should definitely get it physically.
And if you want to get it physically, you can go visit the website at www.argocomics.com.
Or you can go to Indie Planet and type in Team North America, Argo 5, Argo Anthology, Law and Order,
Power.
And you can find all of those books right there, and you can order them right there, and they are print on demand. Dan does an amazing job where he has a regular cover and a variant cover, and guess what? Same price. Just like what DC does, there's a cover A and cover B. Both are the same price, so if you want both covers, it's just double the price for a book. Or if you like the variant more than the regular, same price as cover A. So again, this book was an excellent read. I loved it. I wish I could give it more than 5 stars. And this is crazy, and I mentioned, when it comes to reviewing books from independent creators, not companies, creators, I always like to mention things, and I think I mentioned this with Victor Dandridge when it came to Origins Unknown, and he mentioned that I gave him an idea. If you'd like to see that, go back and check it out. I have to say, with Dan having art, and I'm not putting this on your plate, Dan. I know you're watching this right now, and I don't mean to put this on your plate. And just take this from somebody who's reading the book. He has Argo 5. He has Sorority of Power. It would be really cool if he added Team North America as an ongoing. So you have Argo 5, Team North America, Sorority of Power. You have open options for team crossovers, like a Part 1 in Argo 5 and a Part 2 in Team America. Number 2, it's a different team. So you're having 3 diverse teams then from the Argo. I mean, one-shots are fine too, maybe once a year or whatever. I think Team North America has potential, like Argo 5, to be an ongoing story. Maybe if Dan doesn't have the ability to write, all 3 stories, maybe, somebody else can come on and he can co-write or supervise the way the book is going. But I really, truly feel like Team North America would be a really cool ongoing or quarterly or whatever book to add to the Argo line. I really feel like I really can invest in the team. And it's not just because of Ultro. I truly feel like the team has potential to do what he's doing with Argo 5 now, 27 issues strong. Really 28 because issue 0 is 0. So it's really 28 issues plus the stories in Argo Anthology, which there is a story about Team North America, I believe, in Argo Anthology, or I could be wrong, and I'll kick myself if I'm wrong later. It's been a long time since I read the Argo Anthology. When I get them physically, I'm going to reread them again because they're worth it. There's true potential for Team North America, and Dan, you could take this however you want. I mean, you don't have to do anything, and I know, believe me, I know from one writer to another, and I'm newer at writing and making comics than you are. You've been around for a while doing Argo comics, so you would know more than me, but I truly feel like Team North America can have potential as an ongoing to rival Argo 5. I think that if he brought Team North America out, I love Argo 5. Argo 5 is my jam. That's number 1. I mean, I got 2 of their books on my wall. I love Argo 5. I love the team. I know the team inside and out. I feel like I'm close with the team because I know them. I've read so many books on them. But if Team North America was to do what Argo 5 is, dare I say, when Team North America, getting to know that team more, I don't know. I mean, Argo 5 will always be number 1, but Team North America could pull a strong second place for me. Mm-hmm. I love it. I know you love Sorority of Power.
Yeah, they could do that too.
Oh, if I read Argo Sorority of Power, I'm pretty sure I listened to your reviews on it, and I agree. But yeah. I'm just saying. I mean, Dan has a lot of teams in his universe, and Team North America definitely is a good night and day with Argo 5 because Argo 5 is worldwide. Team North America is North America, and I don't know. I just see something here, and I just want to voice my opinion and my thoughts on Team North America a little bit further. I would give this book more than 5 stars if I could, just to inspire Dan maybe to make more Team North America books because I feel there's potential there. I really do. But 5 stars. It was an excellent read. If you like Argo 5, if you started reading Argo 5 because of my reviews and because of my recommendation, get this one shot. Get this one shot. You will not be sorry. I really enjoyed it, and I see potential in this team, in this book. If Dan was to go anywhere with it, I mean, that's up to Dan, and I understand either way. I'll be there to support Team North America. If he does it once a year, once every 5 years, I will definitely pick up. If he does another Team North America book, you're damn right I'll be picking it up, and you're damn right I'll be reviewing it, and then 99.9% I'm going to enjoy it. All right. I spent a lot of time talking about Team North America, so now the rest of these books we're going to kind of glide through a bit. Go Power Rangers, issue number 13. The Rangers are back in school. I'm trying to remember and read it. This is all, in the aftermath of Shattered Grid. Obviously, this is the Rangers before Tommy. So you get a little bit of what's going on in all of their lives. I like the stuff with Trini. We get to see the debut. Remember the Bug? the car.
Yeah.
Billy gets it from his dad as a gift, and he's gonna use, and he wants him to kind of, do like, guys like to fix cars and whatnot. So he wants Billy to work on the car, And I like that. You see little developments here, there, and everywhere, and then Rita attacks, and Matt still won't talk to any of them. He kind of like ignores them. It's been 3 weeks since the incident, and he just doesn't want to even know they exist because he knows they're lying. But they won't tell him, and Kim kind of feels that it's the right choice. And I still feel like, I don't know if this is because of Shattered Grid Matt's like this or what, but either way, I really hope, everybody keeps saying Matt might be the new Green Ranger and Tommy won't become the Green Ranger. I truly hope that's not true. As much as I understand Boom can change, they have the ability now, it's a new universe kind of after Shattered Grid. I hope they don't go that far off the rails. I really do hope they don't go that far off the rails, and they do still, if they bring the Green Ranger in at some point, I do hope they bring Tommy back. That, or once they're done telling the story of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers lost in wherever they're at, and they come back, they'll start maybe with the 6 Rangers again. I don't know. But Tommy came in fairly early. So technically, I mean, they can't really do too many arcs before Tommy enters the scene somehow. Or a Green Ranger enters the scene, I should say. I don't know. But it has me nervous. Birthright, issue number 22.
Oh, 32.
32. I'm sorry, I saw a 2 instead of a 3. I really love this issue. So Mikey's back. They've taken the Nevermind out of him. Raya loses her wings, which I feel is like, but she did it she sacrificed her wings to save her husband. And the mother is still a pain in the ass a little bit, but I'm starting to get the mom vibe. Because Mikey's like, she's my wife, and she's like, did you get married? How are you married? Explain that to me. How does marriage work in Toronto? Because here, you didn't get married. And he's like, things are different there, yada, yada. And now Brennan is gone. And all the arguing stopped, which I like. The baby, the holding, keeping the baby away from Mikey stopped. Raya now wants to save Brennan. The whole family kind of wants to save Brennan. And they need to use magic, though. Mikey, now that he's not part of the Nevermind anymore, admits, he doesn't like magic. He hates magic. That's the one thing. And we get flashbacks where Rook is about to teach him magic. His wife-to-be, when he was a kid, was supposed to be his magical instructor, and then, they were supposed to get married. That's who he was prophesized to marry. Obviously, we all know that doesn't happen, because in the future, he's with Raya. So, but anyway, we don't know how that, the betrothed girl meets her end, so to speak, yet. Maybe she doesn't meet her end, who knows? But we don't know how that marriage didn't happen yet. We're getting to that point, I guess. So, we're in the middle of the flashback, and, it involves Rook getting taken and Mikey having to go to this place, this town that knows magic. And Mikey's still against it because he's like, magic's the reason why he was taken away. Magic's the reason why he had the Nevermind. There's so many bad things connected to magic and so many people get hurt. He doesn't want to be involved, but they have to find Brennan. So he tells his grandfather, you have to stay here. We can't protect you. You cannot be seen in the world because obviously if he dies, there's only, I think, one other. Yeah, Machisma is the only other wizard left. And if both of them are dead, then Lore can come into the world. And then we see an ending where Brennan, it's obviously been a bit since he was taken. Brennan's now learning magic, and it looks like it's starting to mess with his mind. So now we got Mikey back, but now we're losing Brennan. And now the family's going after Brennan to save him. It's crazy how they get one back, and now they're losing the other. Possibly, who knows? Maybe Brennan has an ulterior motive that, he's keeping to himself. He's wanting to learn his magic, and then he's going to turn on the woman whose name leaves my mind right now. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out, but I love it. UnNatural, issue number 4, the final part to the first volume. We get a couple of flashbacks. The main character and her friend who was killed, and she's being framed for it. I forget her name. Does it say her name in the beginning here? I need her name. I keep forgetting her name. Blair. I guess, yeah, Blair. And we all know what happened in the last issue. She got abducted, whatever. So her friend is dead. She's staying with her other friend right now, and he takes her in and keeps her squared away because of all the stuff that's been going on. She has another dream about the wolf. The wolf in the dream this time kills her or tries to kill her, and we find out that she has some type of a psychic, magical connection. We don't know what yet. And then we find out that that other wolf shows up to save her in reality, and she thinks that it's the wolf from her dreams. I think it's her brother. I think it's possible that it's her brother because the way he talks about, I'm not that bastard. Obviously, I think that's his father. I think that he left with the father, and she, like the mother, because I think the mother was with this dude, had the baby, or an ancestor, and it's like they separated, and now I don't know. We have to wait and find out. There's so much speculation behind it, but I love it. I love this book. This was volume 1. I think we're taking, it's coming back in December, so we're taking. Oh, I heard something in the background. So we're taking a bit of a break from the book, and it'll be back in, I think, a month. Because we won't get it next month, and then we're coming back. I might get this in trade. I'm not sure yet. I want to see how Volume 2 goes, and then I'll just buy both volumes together. I still got to get Paper Girls in trade. Christmas is coming. But those were the indies for the week. Mike, you didn't have any this week.
I guess not. I mean, I thought I did, but for the first time in over some episodes, I really don't. Which is weird, very weird. But that could mean next week there might be a bunch, who knows. But we're going into the big 2 now.
Marvel Comics, and Mike's starting us off.
And I reviewed this on Comic Frontline. What if Peter Parker became the Punisher? And this
everybody's fighting to get this costume into the Spider-Man video game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody wants
with
this
the
costume.
skull, yeah.
Yeah, in the video game.
And this what if is not by the Watcher, because we all know that the Watcher is dead. And Nick Fury is
Nick Fury's the new one, so that's how
right.
It's
well,
gonna be
I'm
for
just
all of
explaining,
Yeah.
But we didn't see him actually. This is actually Peter Parker narrating the whole thing of how he became Spider-Man and how he found Uncle Ben's killer. And I'm just gonna review this really short because I did it for Frontline, and how he used a gun to kill the guy rather than with him falling over, basically. And then, he gets into the whole symbiote costume with him having the skull, fighting all the villains.
It's not a symbiote. It's just a regular costume.
I'm sorry, regular costume. That's what I meant to say.
It's a black costume. That's what
right.
Mike got did.
And he's actually together with Gwen Stacy, which is fine. Harry tries to get with Mary Jane. And then it's just a whole thing of... with the Green Goblin that he fights off against.
I like how he saved Gwen, but he didn't use the neck snap save.
Yeah.
He made a net underneath her and saved her.
And he used CPR, actually, to bring her back to life. And the whole thing, where he got rid of it, and then...
He got rid of the costume, and he married... Did he marry her? Wait, did they get married?
I think they did. Well, no, they got together, I believe. They just got together, yeah.
Okay.
And then with Spider-Man being gone, this promoted gang wars where they had guns, and then you see Frank Castle in one of them.
Loses his son, and he gets the costume.
Well, his son and daughter, actually, they said here. And then that's where he gets the
Punisher.
He
becomes the actual Punisher, so things kind of set up
right.
the Punisher. What I did like was this month, they had True Believers, What If, because What Ifs came back. And True Believer comics are only $1 each. And I actually grabbed the What If Jane Foster became Thor, because we all know that really did happen. And then I also got the What If Peter Parker saved Gwen Stacy. And it's kind of funny because this book ends a little bit like the way Gwen... Well, not really the same because J. Jonah Jameson in that book outs Spider-Man as being Peter Parker. But it's funny how in both of those books he saves Gwen, is my point. And what happens after. I really did like...
it was actually my close book of the week. Well, it was a book of the week, but it was a close rating to 5 out of 5.
And I'm not reviewing the True Believer books because those are older comics that came out a long time ago, but I'm sure anyone who is a fan of the older Spider-Man books already read the What If, I'm sure. If not, True Believers, it's out. It's $1. Infinity War, issue number 4. I don't know. I'm starting to fall off of this book. I really... Phoenix Logan, I don't know how, ends up showing up because Logan or Emma Veen, or it's Emma Frost and Logan fused together. Let me just say that. Leaves a mental note. He says she said it's a he. He's still a he. He says that in the future he's gonna come in contact with the Phoenix Force. He'll leave a mental, message in a bottle, and maybe we'll get something from the future. And at that very moment, the Phoenix Force in the future shows up, and it's Logan as the Phoenix, and he gives Loki one of the, I think it's the Reality Stone, and also Loki asks, could you please separate this Emma Veen because I can't deal with this, and he separates Wolverine and Emma Frost So now they're regular again. They're normal again. And now they've got to put this team together to get the other stones and to get out of this, to fix the Marvel Universe, get it back to the way it was. And there's that journey. Obviously, Wolverine gets left behind, so it's Loki and Emma Frost, which kind of pissed me off. It's like, why are you going to leave Wolverine out? Just because they didn't really, truly, fully bring him back yet, you're going to cut him out like that? Whatever. So they're going around finding people and separating people. Kang and Miss Marvel were separated. Hulk and Ant-Man were separated and brought back to their normal selves. Now this big team is getting together to take out Requiem. And Requiem is somewhere else dealing with... I forget where she's going, finding Infinity's End, and the Watchers show up, and when the Watchers show up, that's when something, something worthy of huge proportions is going to happen, like Infinity War, Civil War. When you see the Watchers, you know something huge is about to go down, and they're chronicalizing it for themselves. When the Watchers watch, that means something huge is about to freaking happen. It's crazy. And I'm excited to see what that means, but at the same time, I don't know. Maybe it was just this issue, or maybe I'm just tired. I'm tired of events, Marvel. I mean, seriously, you guys aren't taking a break either. You're just going into other events right after this, probably. But
The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 7. So last week we see that Peter Parker is in a bar with Boomerang, or his roommate, being with supervillains and everything, and things, don't turn out too well. From last issue, things get a little bit out of hand, so we see that, he's trying to sell some things using a gun, that Boomerang gives him. We see Kingpin, who appears in there, and we see Boomerang actually sacrificing to help save Peter Parker from all this violence and everything, and that actually... after they have the talk, Peter Parker actually sees another good side of Fred, but then he asks, so why are you against Spider-Man? And he's like saying he's not against him, he's just, trying to, get his friends to talk, because his friends are not as they were before, like they're a little bit different. So it's not really Revenge of Spider-Man, it's just what he wants to accomplish for himself. And then we have Kingpin, who talks with somebody, and it has consequences and conditions of what if he doesn't
it's a new villain,
follow it. Yeah, it's basically a new villain, and we'll see how more of that is in continuation in the next Amazing Spider-Man issue. But really great stuff that's happening in Amazing Spider-Man. I'm really enjoying the issues of that.
Now, Tevia's worst pick, but one of my top books this week is Spider-Geddon issue number 1. Long story short, it's all Doc Ock's fault. Octavius perfected the machine, and we saw this in Superior Octopus issue 1. He perfected the Inheritor's machine, so every time he's killed, basically he's immortal now. He has that redo button, so he doesn't have to worry about dying, so he's more reckless, he's more careless. So once he dies, his memory at the moment of death gets transferred to a clone, and he is reborn. Right back to where he left off again. So he basically made himself immortal. However, the Inheritors, through technology, found that machine and were able to basically reincarnate themselves. So they would die and reincarnate in these younger, newer bodies, stronger bodies. And that's what happens. The team shows up and they fight Superior Spider-Man because he's not listening. When does Otto Octavius ever listen? Otto never listens. And he's in the Superior Octopus costume still. So obviously, I don't understand how this takes place after Spider-Geddon issue 0. But then again, the game-verse Spider-Man isn't here yet either. So I don't know. Anyway, maybe it's a paradox and 0 takes place after 1. Who knows? It's a recruiting issue. It should have been the edge of Spider-Geddon. But anyway, they come out. We lose 2 spiders already. 2 big ones. And I'm upset. Spider-Man UK and Spider-Man Noir both meet an end to the I forget their what was his name? Left my mind completely. Morlun. And I'm kind of upset about that because slowly but surely you're destroying all of the Spider-Men in the multiverse, the big ones. That's kind of gonna ruin any later on stories if you want to use it with them because you killed them. So how are we going to revisit them especially Spider-Man UK is very popular. I actually got his figure not too long ago. Spider-Man Noir is another popular Spider, and I feel like they're gonna have to hit the reset button at some point with these Geddons and Verse and fix all the deaths that have happened, or at least a few of them, because you're literally taking away all the known alternate Spider-Man and bringing in all these new ones. The game verse obviously is a big and should be in this verse of Spider-Man, but you're taking away all the other known ones and leaving us with Spider-Punk. I mean, there's still Mayday, which is important. I do agree with everybody. Mayday is just as important. But you're leaving us with so few. I mean, there are a few more left that are strong, but I feel like there could be so... You're taking away so many others that are strong. The death count has to stop, or there has to be some type of a reset button where all of it's erased and somehow they all go back to their universes and they're just back. I don't know. I just feel bad that they died. Do I think it ruins the issue? No. I know Tevye hated it for Doc Ock alone, so Tevye's going to hate the rest of the series. But me, I'm interested in seeing where this goes. Again, though, I do hate... I hope they really don't do too many deaths again. You can't take many more Spider-Men off the field or you're going to lose them all. Like, all. I mean, we lost so many of the good ones already. X-23 number 5. Long story short, Laura saves Gabby. Sophie, teaming with Laura, get into Gabby's head and kick out I forget the name of the sister that was inside of Gabby's head.
Laura?
No. Esme is inside of Gabby's body at the moment. Thanks to Sophie, the other Cuckoos, and Laura, she's expelled, killed, gone, and Gabby's back in her brain. That's the long and short of it. The Cuckoos go into hiding because obviously they did something bad, so now they're kind of in trouble, to put it lightly. And they're celebrating a death day instead of a birthday. So there's a cake there for Esme being dead and gone forever kind of deal. It's kind of funny, the cake. And that's really how the story arc ends. It was a nice ending. It was okay. Again, this first story arc I feel was a bit weak. Hopefully as we move forward now we'll be getting stronger stories. It was okay. It was a fun read. It was an interesting first volume. We'll see where the next arc goes. House of Whispers issue 2. Now normally at this point the story has gone in ways already that are a little bit beyond me, but the reason I'm sticking with this is the Matrice, whatever her name is, ends up in the Dreaming. We don't know how, but she's been sent from her realm. Her followers sent back to their bodies in the real world, and she's stuck in the Dreaming. And she wants to leave. She tries to leave and gets into a storm and gets sent back. She's lost her powers. She's slowly dying, and she's stuck in the Dreaming. And again, Sandman is nowhere to be found, so Daniel's not there, and nothing can be fixed. So she's stuck in the Dreaming. The sister that was sent to the hospital in the last issue is alive, but doesn't feel alive. Her soul is missing, so she feels like she's just a husk. She's slowly going to decay and die. And we find out where her soul is. It's in the Dreaming. And as a matter of fact, she ends up kissing her girlfriend and sends her girlfriend's soul into the Dreaming as well. So now there are two dead or living bodies without souls, so they're kind of dead. And that has me interested in how it's connected to the Dreaming. And you know that all of this is leading to a possible event where Sandman is going to have to come back. The Dreaming's in a bad state. If you've been reading the Dreaming, you know that. Now House of Whispers is in dismay and stuck in the Dreaming. So they need to get back to where they belong and get out of the Dreaming. What else is connected to this? We didn't get Book of Magic yet. That's coming. I'm excited like crazy for that. And we're getting another book, and why is that book leaving my mind also? I believe there are 4 books altogether connected to the Dream. The Dreaming, House of Whispers, Book of Magic. Well, when it comes out, I'll be reading it anyway, but beside the point, this was strong.
The Sandman?
No, I wish. I'm hoping we get a book. Maybe he'll return to the Dreaming like that, but
I don't know. No.
Basically, all hell's breaking loose, and if Daniel doesn't come back, bad things are going to happen. Sandman has to reclaim his role and fix because things are breaking apart. And I don't even know what's going to happen in Book of Magic yet, but it looks like bad things are possibly happening. I mean, if you saw the one-shot, you know things are happening. So I'm interested to see what it's going to take to get Daniel the Sandman back. And before that was Vertigo. Digital first, The Death of Superman. I have to say, John Bogdanoff actually does the art in this book, which you'd recognize if you...
Well, I wanted to show the cover first.
Okay, go ahead. Show the cover first. It's the same cover you've seen every single week. Now, for those of you wondering who John Bogdanoff is, if you remember the reign of the Superman and Superman comics in general in the 90s, that comic right there, the Steelbook, I actually have that signed by John Bogdanoff. But he is a Superman artist as well. He's done Superman books before. Yeah, go ahead. One more. That's it. No, make it widescreen.
Well, go ahead.
It's Aquaman teaming up with Superman. This is an Aquaman flashback with Superman. I guess that's what we're getting now. I love John Bogdanoff's art with Superman, and obviously he's doing the new Superman or the new costume or the anime verse Superman's costume, which obviously you're gonna do because that you got to be correct with where you're at. But I love John Bogdanoff's art when it came to Superman back in the 90s. It looked amazing here, honestly. It was fun. It was a great story. Again, Superman teaming up with Aquaman, and it ending with, I believe, Jon Jones talking with Aquaman. So I don't know who's next, but I like how all the Justice League members are slowly giving their memories of Superman. It was a fun, short read. Again, digital first, or digital only at the moment. Plastic Man issue 5. All I keep thinking is it over yet? Are we done yet? Because I'm not enjoying Plastic Man as much as I'd like to. I really am not at this point. So Plastic Man ends up calling child services, getting the kid taken away, and of course that was a bad move on his part. And then the other girl shows up. The Illuminati attacks her using somebody who looks and acts just like Plastic Man, has his powers as well. And Plastic Man shows up and fights this thing. It turns out to be an alien. And then we get to see this other girl. I forget her name. Something. She basically has body, and she blames Plastic Man for how she is now. And it's going into the grand finale next issue. And I don't know how it's going to finale with everything going on in one issue. But hey, at this point, I'm not really a fan of this Plastic Man mini. I like the beginning. I like the first issue. I just feel like gradually after that, it's been going lower and lower for me.
Red Hood and the Outlaw, issue number 27. So with this issue, though, this is where actually Jason Todd gets an unexpected visit from Bruce Wayne after helping him with a gang fight. And he tells him that Roy Harper has died. Now, we saw in Green Arrow that Alva Queen found out. So this is now where Jason Todd finds out, and he was also close with Roy Harper. It's actually in Hero in Crisis for details when he died at the Sanctuary, I believe. And so you would know more because you read it. And, with all that, he just gives a hug to Bruce.
I like that.
All that. Like this page right here, just after, all that. You would never expect that, but that right there just shows that, heart and respect for one another, that he still, does that. And then he left the last message on Roy Harper's phone of saying, hopefully that I see you again someday. He moves into the short town, but somebody actually has an eye on Jason Todd. And whoever that person is, we're going to find out who it is in the next issue of this. But that Roy Harper death has everybody on, on moping and everything.
Supergirl, issue number 28.
23.
23? 23. Sorry, I looked too quick and I saw it. That's the variant, and this is the metallic cover. I have this. I'll be showing a haul of all of my covers at the end of the month once I get them all. Well, they're not called the foil covers. I'm sorry. They're called foil covers. Whatever they're called. Anyway, this issue, Kara finds out that from the Guardian that was part of this circle, he tells her a little bit about the circle, gives her a crystal, and says that he scattered his last testament across the galaxy to find all the crystals, and they'll answer some of your questions, and maybe more will. Basically, she has to go around finding these crystals, and uncover the circle and find out if Rogozar really did destroy Krypton or not. Maybe he didn't. We don't know. But Kara's going to go around finding these crystals. She gets out of this holographic message that was left on Oa with one crystal. And obviously the Green Lantern Corps is not happy with what was going on. She snuck in the last issue. She kind of broke a couple of rules, so they want to detain her. She doesn't allow it. Mogo kind of assists her because he knows what it's like. He understands because he's a planet himself to lose a whole planet. So he kind of gets her off the planet. She gets free from the Green Lanterns. Obviously, though, she's enemy of the Green Lanterns now. I mean, they're not going to go chasing after her. Like, she's not, like, on a wanted list. I'm sure this will come back to bite her at some point. But at the moment, they just let her go. Because, obviously, she's a good guy. And they know it. And I'm sure Kyle and John will stand up for her. And maybe things will smooth over. Who knows? But what we do know is now she has to find the rest of these clear crystals. Get her questions answered. Yada, yada. I don't know if I might put this on a casual read. Just because I see where this arc is going. And it is interesting, but I might want to get like 2 or 3 books together at once and just read all 3 at the same time instead of reading them one issue at a time. This is one of the things I feel like I can binge a couple of issues at once in, because I finished this issue and I'm like, wow, this was a pretty quick read, and I feel like a lot didn't go on. It, like, she got the message, she has her mission, she escapes Mogo, end of the issue. Now she has to find the rest of the crystals, and now the Circle knows that she's looking for the rest of the crystals, and they have to stop her. We saw this at the end of Supergirl 2 issues ago, where they're like, we're going to have to stop her, we're going to have to kill her, whatever. So I might wait, read a couple of issues, and then come back to and then read those several in a row. So I don't know if you'll be seeing it on the review. If I have a chance to read it before we do the review, I'll review it. I'll talk about it at least, but I might binge it instead. I feel like it's going to be one of those slow reads, and that's because Bendis is dealing with Superman right now, and he's taken every other super character either off the board. I mean, you got Superboy and Young Justice that's going to start up in January, and he's going to be somewhere. Supergirl's off in space with Krypto, so even Krypto's gone. John is gone. Lois is in hiding to do all the research with Doomsday Clock. Literally, he's left Superman by himself on Earth. And I think that's what we're going to get at least for the first year of Bendis writing Superman. Maybe it'll only be a year. Hopefully it'll only be a year. Not saying that I don't like it. Do you understand? Bendis has 9 books he's writing? 9 a month?
Wow.
So I think it would be in his best interest to drop some books. And he's taken over all the super books, Action and Superman. And I'm sure he's overlooking what's going on with Supergirl and everything else because they're all somehow intertwined. So and he's writing Batman for the magazines that show up in Walmart, and I'm not going to list all of his stuff. You guys know it. Naomi, actually, which is a book that's coming out from his teen line, the Wonder line, is actually connected to Superman as well, I found out. So I might actually be reading Naomi digitally. All depends what it's about and where we're going. It is connected to Superman, though. Again, though, anything that's connected to Superman that isn't Justice League immediate, he's, I'm sure he's overseeing and writing. So I would say after a year, it would probably be time to. I would hope that, or at least he limits himself to just the 2 Superman books, because if he's overseeing the whole Superman verse and writing almost all of it, that's a lot. And I'm not saying he's a bad writer. Again, I'm enjoying his Superman books. I don't hate them, but I don't absolutely adore them either. They're like good reads, especially the last action book. I really enjoyed his last action issue. We're going to talk about Superman in a moment. I don't want to spoil my review for Superman because Superman's in here. But let's just say I've enjoyed his latest work from Superman for now until we get to Superman. And then we'll go from there. But I just don't want to see Bendis with so much on his plate, because then eventually you know that fatigue and overwork is definitely going to set in. And that's when you got to start worrying about where the quality of his books is going to come from.
Wonder Woman The Witching Hour Part 2, connected to the last Part 1 in Justice League Dark. And I have to admit, though, that this book is so heavy dialogue. Like, there's so much that is going on. Wonder Woman. I can't get the name. It
was right there.
Tylan the Fourth?
Oh, Tinian the Fourth.
Tinian,
yeah.
Okay.
I
mean, I understand, what's going on. they're trying to help out Wonder Woman with this power that she has. We also saw John Constantine was alive and talking with Zatanna. And Wonder Woman is just trying to find out, all about this magic, and says that she wants to talk to Search to see more about the information that she's looking for. So as that happens, Search sees that she has a symbol on her head and that the witch marked her. So basically she goes to her normal form to speak with her, and then it just gives like a whole thing about Search.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's all dialogue.
Yeah, we see Boston Brand that actually makes an appearance in this issue, and so much just happens. Like, I could understand some of it, but others are just like really just long dialogues and stuff. But let's just say that there is a way to that Nana Parbat is burning the city, and Wonder Woman says that there is a way of actually coming to plan about how to defeat her, which is going to be in Justice League Dark issue number 4, right, and it's going to be this week. Mm-hmm. So I'll definitely be reading that, of course. So just a lot of dialogue in the book, though. It's just, oh, hold on, I got read only. I hate when sometimes the tablet doesn't listen to going full screen. Thank you.
Last 2 books, Detective Comics issue number 990.
10 more until we hit that
and
1,000.
There's gonna be, and listen to this, there's going to be 3 Detective Comics in January.
Oh, there is.
So February will be, I think, no, March. The first March book will be 1,000. So, Batman goes to Harvey, a.k.a. Two-Face, for help. Because he finds out from Signal. Now, he goes to Harvey, things don't go well. Harvey escapes, whatever. He goes to Signal because he's still trying to find Two-Face. And Signal's like, Cobra's back. He does his research and find out that Cobra's back. So Batman, once again, Cobra actually attacks the Gotham City Police Department, and Two-Face shows up there and saves actually Gordon from about getting shot in the face. So Two-Face saves Gordon. Batman goes again to reach out to Two-Face. He's like, look, I'm not here to reach out to Harvey. I'm not here to cure you or anything. I want your help. So basically, the book ends there, but I like how the title's like, the enemy of my enemy, which is true. He basically wants to team up with Two-Face to take out Cobra. So we've seen Batman team up with Penguin. We've seen that is coming. I'm sorry, that is coming, I believe. But we've seen Batman team up with several other people. Now he's going to team up with Two-Face to stop Cobra in Detective. Interesting story arc. I'm very interested in seeing where we're going with this. Obviously, I think this is going to be what takes us, because it's $9.90 now. There's 10 more issues till 1,000. I would imagine that this will take us, if not halfway, more than halfway to 1,000 at least, this arc. Depending on how much is written. Now, Superman issue number 4. This goes back to me saying, this was a good issue. I enjoyed this issue more than I thought I would. Superman fighting Rogol-Zar, and I like the flashbacks with him and John talking, and this is before John leaves or is taken by Jor-El, obviously, and they're talking about, and Superman's talking about, John's always saying, people talk so much bad stuff about us, and we have so much power. Why don't we stop them? And Superman's like, do you know how many times I wanted to pop Batman's head off of his shoulders because he would drive me nuts, but I don't do it. First of all, he says he's my brother, and second of all, he says, I don't do it because I don't. You just have to have patience with people, and you have to learn to just turn and let what happens happen. You have the power. That doesn't mean you have to use it. I like that lesson. I think Bendis did a really, really good job with that scene with John. Now, see, Bendis, you can write John. I don't know why for the first 12 issues of both Superman and Action you had to cut him out, but I like that back and forth with Superman and John, and I feel like if John was there, that Bendis can write a good father-son thing. I don't know why he had to. I mean, he has a plan, but he wrote it really well. And Superman tries to appease the other Kryptonian, Zor something, whatever. I forget his sir after Zor. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. But anyway, he tries to talk to him. He's like, why are you teaming with Rogol-Zar? He's going to turn on you. This is wrong, yada, yada. And in the end, Adam comes up with the plan of shrinking Earth and then using the Phantom Zone projector to teleport Earth back to where it belongs. Something happens with Flash, and I think something goes wrong, but we don't know what. Superman throws Rogol-Zar off of Earth. Earth leaves the Phantom Zone, or at least it seems like Earth has left the Phantom Zone. And Superman's now trapped with Rogol-Zar in the Phantom Zone. However, the last page shows Adam Strange still hovering right where the Earth is, where the satellites are, but Earth is still not there. So where is Earth? We'll find out, I guess, in the next issue. And Superman now, like I said, is trapped with Rogol-Zar. You know that Superman will win the battle with Rogol-Zar in the end, but I think Zod is going to play a role in all of this at some point. So it's going to be interesting to see that as well. It's going to be interesting to see Bendis write Zod. But again, now, like I said, my worry is not in the writing, because I like the last issue of Action a little bit more than I've been, and I like this issue of Superman a lot more than I've been, because Superman's been lower. So I am back to a hierarchy with Superman. What worries me is 9 books. He's one away from double digits. Now, granted, a few of them are minis, a few of them, I'm sure he's written some of them well in advance. But he's overlooking the teen department with his wife. He's got a lot of books. And my concern is burnout. My concern is burnout and dividing your time up between 9 books. Granted, all of them only come out once a month. That's 9 books a month still. I don't care if he has all of Superman done, all of Action done as far as stories, whatever. It's still 9 stories. Some of them cannot be finished yet. There's no way he has all 9 stories written, done, not worrying about them anymore. Now he's just overseeing them come out. I'm sure he's still working on a fair amount of those books. Mm-hmm. And my concern is that he's going to overwhelm himself and the quality of his books are going to sink, certain ones. And my worry is not for, any books except Superman, Young Justice, which still has to come out. And for anyone who's reading the Batman magazine, I mean, that could end at any moment. So my concern is for Superman and Young Justice. I don't want to see the quality of those books drown because he has so many other books he's working on. I feel in this case, he has 2 Superman books and Young Justice. Easily he can give one of the Superman books to another creative team, because no writer in DC owns both books right now. No creator owns all the Batman books, or all like Detective and Batman. He is the only one that is doing both Superman books. And I feel like if he has to start cutting work, I would say give up one of the super titles. Stick with Young Justice. I think he's going to have a good voice with Young Justice. I really do. I'd say drop a Superman book, maybe Superman. Stick with Action. I don't know. I can't tell him about his creator-owned stuff. Maybe he has all of that written in advance. Naomi maybe would be something to consider, unless it's something that, again, is creator-owned. I don't know. I just feel like he's doing a lot. I really feel like Bendis is doing a bit too much. Hopefully he'll lighten his load, or maybe he can handle 9 books. Hey, more power to him. But again, if this was Jeff Johns, if this was, like Jay said, if it was Jeff Johns, if it was Kevin Eastman, if it was any of my favorite, Dan Jurgens, 9 books is a lot for any writer. Any writer. It's a lot. And none of it's being co-written with anybody, except for Young Justice might be, I think, overseen by him and his wife together. But still, that's still 8.5 books. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's almost too much, I dare say. So I would definitely say, hopefully he'll lighten his load in 2019, or maybe some books will end, some books are miniseries. Who knows? But Bendis, lighten your load, because your quality is going to be sacrificed for the quantity of how many books you do, and you don't want that. You want better quality than quantity, I'm sure. Up to you, though. I mean, Brian Michael Bendis only knows Brian Michael Bendis as well as himself. He only knows himself. He knows himself best. Up to you, but I just don't want to see any of my books suffer, or even your books. Even though I don't read them, Brian Michael Bendis, I don't want to see your books suffer either, because you're doing too much at once. I want all the books to be good that he writes, so he can be happy about all of his books. So, just something to think about and something to ponder about for 2019. And with that, that's it for this review, everybody. I'm not going to give you guys any post-review because we are at 59 minutes almost. We're 10 seconds away from 59 minutes, almost a whole hour. And we had a whole 10 minutes at the beginning of the segment. If you want any news or anything that I've talked about, the first 10 minutes of this show was all about what's coming up and everything like that. Thank you all so much for being here. As always, this is the end of the week, so I'm not even going to plug anything. Next week is starting up soon. So Monday, like I said, will not be Dark Avenger Live. We're still in the month of October. Tuesday will be Frontline Live. We'll be back for that. And then Friday will be Wednesday. Hopefully this show will be back as a video. And then Friday will be Zone 4. So look forward to that. All that next week. Take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting. And we will see you all the next episode of the Dark Avenger Comic Book Review.
Hey, everybody.
Wait. Oh, no, 30. Forget it. I'm not waiting.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.